Welcome back, people, to the Best of Seven Sports Talk. We got Miss J in the building joining me. Jay, I tagged you into a tweet from Lisa Leslie, man, saying that the WNBA told her not to make a big fuss out of the Brittney Griner detainment. What you think about that comment? I'm hearing other WNBA players was told to kind of be silent when it comes to this matter. Brittney's facing 5 years in a labor camp. This is not even a regular jail in Russia. She's facing 5 years in a labor type of jail. So this is a big deal. What you think about Lisa Leslie saying the WNBA told her to keep it quiet?
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Like, who thought that Brittney Griner having vape cartridges would land her where she's at? You know, and a lot of the players spoke on saying they travel and sometimes they get stuff in wherever they play at, or they leave stuff in their bags, and they've never had an issue. But now Brittney Griner has this issue. But some people are saying it's more than just she's a WNBA player. She's lesbian also. And then U.S. and Russia are having issues. So it's too many parts with it. It's too many parts with it.
You're right, Miss J. There's a lot of elements. At the end of the day, though, I think the timing with this thing is crazy because, like you said, you hear athletes talk about they bring weed in or paraphernalia in and out of different areas and never get caught up. The timing of the issue with Russia and Ukraine, it just was a bad, it was just off for her going into an airport. They're going to be doubling down, checking everything. So, Brittney should have been smarter when it comes to that notion. But what she is suffering so far, what she's facing, and the lack of attention that she's getting over here in the States when it comes to the media is really ridiculous to me. Like, nobody's talking about this story.
Like how some people will speak out against certain things. I think people don't want to be blackballed in a sense. It like if they're pressing on it too much with it, they're fearing of not having a job, getting blackballed, and then it's like, okay, I went through all this, and it's like, who else is gonna get on the wagon with me and like speak out? Like on social media, I've seen several NBA and WNBA players say things in regards to free Brittney Griner.
Free Brittney, yep.
But it's like you can't really go detail into it. Now, the WNBA players have known for weeks with this happening. They've known. As far as like the world is just finding out. But the WNBA players as a whole, they said they knew from the beginning.
This happened in February.
Yeah.
The reports didn't come out to the most until the beginning of March. But you're right. They were already aware of that.
It's bad handling on Russia's part, and it's bad handling on the U.S.'s part, as far as like her agent, the WNBA, Kathleen Ingberg, and how you handle some of these situations. You guys say you're in communication, but it's like, what are y'all doing to get her back here?
But I got to talk to the bosses, Jay. You got to explain to me, how does somebody get blackballed for speaking out on this situation? Because this is not an in-house scenario. This is Russia versus the United States, if you want to put it basically in that.
They'll say, "Oh, you're being too like political." You know how they go with some people when they give their opinions on certain topics. That's like crazy, LeBron. Bro. LeBron gives his opinion on something, and then he'll tweet it, and they'll say, "Well, what gives you the right to speak on whatever?" That's what it's going to end up being. I'm waiting for somebody who has a platform that's on a show to speak out and say what needs to be said. Candace Parker would be the perfect person, in my opinion. Because she's on there with Charles Barkley. She's on there with D-Wade. You got Shaq. You're on one of the highest platforms and on TV to speak and say something far as Brittney Griner.
Right.
ESPN is another one. You guys are not speaking on it.
What do you think about Lisa Leslie speaking out on this matter? Do you think she's going to face some backlash?
It's going to be some backlash. It's going to be some... It may, but then it may not, because she spoke on it vaguely and politically correct in what she said. So she spoke on it, but she didn't speak on it. And she's not pinpointing or naming names. So that's where I don't think she's going to have a backlash from it. I think it depends on who says it. Who says it and how respected is their opinion. That's why I say Candace Parker would be perfect.
This to me is we talking about life and death in a sense, man. Like this is not a average military average jail sentence that she will be facing or dealing with in another country at that. Nope. Russia's never been the best friends of the United States. Like she has nothing invested that they would treat her good or, you know what I mean, give her any special treatment. Nope. And the fact that there's not enough exposure being talked about or that she's still not here, it scares the hell out of me. I mean, and then you brought up the fact about, you know, her sexual preference and all that, like all that is playing a role, but you don't even see the LGBT community really like speaking out on this publicly consistently. Like I don't hear no one talking about the Brittney Griner situation in the masses. And it makes me feel like, you know, like Lisa Leslie said, people are being advised not to say much. And I'm just like, why not?
It's like, you hate to say it, but it's like people pick and choose who you want to help, who you want to back, because LGBTQ plus should be the main ones fighting.
Yes. And should have everybody backing them, that community.
Why are you guys not?
The WNBA, the NBA, there's so many different pockets of communities that should be speaking out and no one is talking. And nope. I'm clueless on why.
I want to say everybody wants to be politically correct. And you don't, it's like the people that are outspoken on all the rest of the issues, mm-hmm. She's one of your own, as far as the WNBA. Why are you guys not being overly outspoken about this? Unless your teams have advised it. And this is coming per top of the food chain for the WNBA. That's the only thing I can see. But as far as like Lisa Leslie speaking out on it, you don't have too much to lose. You're not a player in the WNBA right now. So that's what I'm saying. Her, Renee Montgomery, you own the Atlanta Dream. You would be a great person to speak on behalf. And some of these other people that have platforms, use your platforms.
I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to tell you the problem. One of the problems. This country that we live in, this United States of America, the people inside of this country are so racist. They don't forget anything. And this is why I'm saying this. I did a video on an update on Brittney Griner when this thing first had happened. Mm. And if you go to the video, just look at the comments of what people are saying. Good for her. Brittney Griner, I think, spoke out against something going on in the United States. I don't know if it was a long time ago or recent. And everyone in the comment section kept referencing, like, I bet Brittney loves America now. This is what she gets, this, that, and the third. And I'm sitting here reading all these comments. And I'm like, bro, how would you feel if one of your family members was in Russia right now in the middle of a war, being detained for weed, vapes, and cartridges? Like, you know what I'm saying? They're talking about being facing 5 to 10 years in a labor prison. Like, it's unacceptable, bro.
It's unacceptable. But I salute to everybody who is speaking their piece.
Yes.
I understand you guys, your hands are tied to a sense, and you have to be really politically correct in even the tweets that I'm reading. But you guys are saying free Brittney Griner. I've seen that all across Twitter and social media. So it's not that you guys aren't supporting. It's just that somebody's got to jump out there and really say what needs to be said.
Gotta go harder.
And not fear some backlash.